Okay, so I know I start like a ton of videos by saying this, but this one should actually be a short one because I don't have much to talk about. And the reason I don't have much to talk about is because the game crashes like every third map if I'm lucky, and I ain't willing to deal with that. So, you know, I'll hope there's like a stability patch or something. And if there's not, that sucks. I'll keep trying though, because I do enjoy the game. But I currently don't have the ward for it. I have added Fragments of the Past to the build. I replaced my gear. I got a new chest piece, which I could probably replace that intelligence with some cold res, but I didn't need it at the time. I think this helmet's new, and these boots are new as well. Right now, obviously I'd prefer to get life over mana on the helmet and the boots, but mana works because it is significantly cheaper to buy, and again, I still do have this lucidity wheel, plus I might anoint mental perseverance plus the this Great Wolf's rune, which will make life about twice as effective as mana, but then I'll be getting a lot of mana from the int. I've also got my int up to 360, and since I'm using Hollow Palm, upgrading all of this stuff, I upgraded my rings as well. Got some good int and attributes, a little bit of resistances. Prefixes on this one aren't great. Prefixes on this one are really bad, but I don't have the collarbone right now. I do have a Sinistral Necromancy omen, and then once I get a collarbone, I can't use this Nod one because maximum item level 64, and this thing is item level 77. But I would, you know, I'll do this, I'll desecrate it, and I'll have a 2/3 chance to not hit the max life. I'll hit either the lightning or the chaos damage. Either one would be perfectly fine. I am currently using a Midnight Braid just to have some of that damage recouped as mana and a little bit of elemental resistances. A rare belt could be better, but you can't get int on those as far as I know, so that isn't hugely important. Right, one of my old rings, this one is what I was using, had Runic Ward on it. I need to get some back in order to be able to cast Fragments of the Past. I will most likely be doing that through these, but for that I need a Vorana's Crest, which I don't have. And also, I would like to, in the future... Oop, you can't upgrade that. Upgrade this thing, but I don't have the crafting knowledge. So I just need to progress more, but again, when the game crashes, you know, in a good chunk of maps, it's quite annoying. But Fragments of the Past just throws out a bunch of these ice fragments, which deal some okay damage. I currently have Close Combat, just because it's going to be close to enemies. So I'm basically only ever using this. I'm just throwing it down on a boss. Retreat, because I am constantly hitting with my Shattering Palm still. So I am damaging enemies with a melee hit, which means that this is getting 25% more projectile damage, and it doesn't have any melee damage in the first place, so that first line doesn't matter. And then Cold Exposure, which means, you know, it has a 44% crit. So now I'm applying a bunch of exposure. With all that new gear, this is at the same crit, 44.5%, because of Hollow Palm. Since I have a bunch more energy shield, I now also have 950 energy shields. That's just nice as a defensive layer. I haven't leveled up at all. I've been dying so much. I've just been dying so much. But again, I'd like to go over here. I don't need a ton of accuracy, but this giving me some evasion rating as well, plus just the flat int. I'll probably come down and grab this node as well, Deep Freeze. Especially now that I have exposure, and once I grab Deep Freeze, I might drop Heavy Frost. The increased freeze buildup is nice, but hits ignore non-negative elemental resistance of frozen enemies. They'll already have a bunch of minus res, especially if I throw a cast on crit elemental weakness in there, which I'll need more spirit for, but I'd be willing to drop, obviously not Herald of Ice, and prefer not to drop Wind Dancer, but I can put the blind into like Fragments of the Past if need be, And the Ghost Stance is really nice. It also, I have the Clarity in it just for a little bit extra mana regen. Not super necessary with the belt, but I have the Spirit for it, so I'm fine with it. If I get some extra Spirit on a chest piece here, instead, like if I fix, I believe Spirit is a suffix. I don't know where my other chest piece went. I think I might have just actually gotten rid of it. If it's a prefix, I'll replace most likely the life. If it's a suffix, I'll replace one of the reses once I fix reses elsewhere from getting higher tier modifiers. Obviously, I can't get any from my amulet because this amulet does not have Spirit on it. But if I can get enough to throw a cast on crit setup in there, then I will do cast on crit elemental weakness, and at that point I most likely will drop heavy frost, even though it's only 1 point, because I will definitely be keeping thin ice. I'm just not sure if the freeze buildup will be worth it. It'll only really be affecting enemies that have like really high cold resistance. There's something to be said about going over here and grabbing some of these energy wheels once I set up a cast on crit thing. But I need so much Spirit, and I need like just much better gear before doing that anyway. I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, not much to talk about. I need to get jewels as well. Jewels are just nice to have. Oh, and Elder's Legacy. The Elder's Legacy is the one that lets you take a mod from Halgurin and Ezomite uniques. For this build, I have 2 real options. I haven't looked through all of them. I just gave them like a quick skim. And the 2 that I first noticed that was like, oh, these would be really good is Culling Strike on the gloves. There is a modifier that you can slot into gloves to just get Culling Strike. And if I get Culling Strike, then I can slap in Thrill of the Kill because I will be constantly culling enemies, which I'm pretty sure would still work. I'm fairly certain that Thrill of the Kill works with the bells as well, again, as long as you have Culling Strike. So I could throw this in to anything, really. Perhaps the Tempest Bell, perhaps the Shattering Palm, maybe Fragments, but probably not. And that will give me a bunch of damage to extra lightning, which with my Embitter, which I need to get more Embitter supports to be able to throw in there, that will give me a bunch of extra damage. Now, the description says culling a shocked enemy with supported skills, and then the actual line of text that like says what the ability does just says culling an enemy. It just says gain damage on culling an enemy. So I'll have to see. And worst case scenario, I can try and find a way to get some shocks in there, because that's just extra damage anyway. So shocks are very nice. I might do something, I don't know what, I don't know how I would just slot in shocks, but that's pretty much it. I can throw my omens over here, not that it matters. Hopefully there's like a stability patch of some sort to help. I saw that there was some changes, like they're capping Flicker Strike at 75% chance, and there was another build that was being changed, but I forget what it was. Maybe it wasn't a build. I think it was that it was temples. Temples were too good of a farming strategy, but that doesn't matter to me. I can't make any progress. Well, I can make very little progress, 1 to 2 maps before the game crashes, and I say, you know what? I'll come back to this later. So that's what I've updated. I've added Fragments of the Past. I need to get some more Runic Ward so that I can actually cast it, because this, you can see this, enemies typically won't be 9 meters away, but I'd like to get that up to 100% just in case I get massive AoEs, which I will once I get enough int with this. But that's the build. Not much of an update, because there's not much to update. I haven't made much progress.